joined by Coach Adia Barnes. We'll start with questions for Coach. PJ Brown, Arizona Daily Star, you're first.
Hi, Adia.
Hi.
What does it mean for you to be the one who's accomplished this for the program, going back to the NCAAs after a 16-year drought?
Well, it's been way too long. The drought was way too long, but just really excited. Excited for the players, excited for the program. All of our hard work is paid off. Also, the great thing for us is we didn't experience this last year. So last year we did all this hard work. We had ourselves in a good position, and then it was all canceled. So this year to see it, come alive and, to sit there and be waiting and your name's called, it's just an awesome feeling. So just really, really excited.
It's great. And what has your message been to the girls, to your players this week on mentally how to sort of be ready for this, which most of them have not experienced yet?
Yeah, well, this week it was all about, resting our minds, bodies, like getting focused, and I think re-energizing. I think for a student athlete, just in general, it's been a tough year. It's been a COVID year. It's been a year where you don't do what you typically do, just with, friends and all that stuff. So I think it's just been a little bit abnormal. So leading up to this, there's all this anxiety about like, what's the tournament going to be like? Are fans there? Are they not? Are we in lockdown or not? But I really truly feel in the Pac-12 we have an advantage. And the reason why is because we travel with partner schools and we're gone. We've had 3 5-day road trips this year. So we're already kind of prepared of what it's like on the road in hotels, kind of on lockdown. Other teams have not. They go fly in the same day or they, go in for a game and leave. They haven't been on the road that long. So I think there's an advantage. I think we're excited. A lot don't know what to expect, like you said, because they haven't been there. But we've had 3 that have. And so they're just kind of leaning on them and helping just share what it's like. And, it's an exciting time.
Thanks.
We're going dancing. That's all I know. We're going dancing.
Troy Hutchinson, All Sports Tucson.
So, Coach, even though you guys knew you guys were going to be in the tournament, was there still butterflies leading up to today and right before they announced your guys' names?
No, I think it's more excitement, not butterflies, more just anticipation and excitement to see who we're going to play, what region, who's in our bracket, who we're facing first. I think it's really hard for student athletes to not know what's next and not know who they're going to play. And I think they're just kind of settled knowing, okay, this is our opponent. This is when we're playing. Just more information. But so it wasn't a nerve-wracking thing. I think it's more nerve-wracking when you don't know if you're going to be in. We knew we were going to be in and wanted to see if we'd have a great seat or a great seed in the tournament and, who we're matched up against. And we're just excited.
Sean with the Daily Wildcat. Sean?
Thank you, Coach, for being here. I was just curious, how familiar are you with Stony Brook's program?
I'm not that familiar. Obviously, tonight I'm going to become very familiar.
And oh, sorry.
No, so things happen really fast. Did a little bit of research upstairs. Very good team. Successful 5 losses for the year. Very good defensive team. 4th in the conference and holding, field goal percentage defense. So I think we're excited. It's going to be different, but that's what it's all about. It's one and done, and you're going to face different people that you don't know anything about. But I think that's the excitement of March, Madness.
And just to touch on that, so not being familiar with the program, obviously as a coach, you'll of course watch film and do research, but I'm wondering, so then in the perspective of your team, how do you prepare your team for a program that they're not familiar with, playing in a surrounding that they're also not familiar with as well? Like, what do you feel will go into that for you and your team?
Well, so we know we're playing the Alamo Dome. We know we're playing on Monday. So for us, that's why it has to be more about us. We don't get really caught up in, like who they are, what they do. Yeah, have to know basic. Like, are they a man, zone? What are their tendencies? Basic things. Us coaches have to know a lot more. Players, you give them a couple things. But I think it's really important to focus on what we do, and we may work a lot against what we do against their type of defense. But it's more focused on us and how to play. If they're a zone, if they're a team that plays a lot of zone, then we'd also obviously work on our zone offense. But it's more about us than it is about the opponent, and that's how we've been all year. And I think it's worked pretty well.
And then last question for you, Coach. So obviously it's been 16 years since the program has been this far to the playoffs. So as a coach, I'm just wondering, how special has this group been for you in just educating them on everything with all the knowledge that you know? And then what will you remember most about this group having made such history now, taking them back this far where the team hasn't been in so long?
Just so many memories. I think it's great to really reach this milestone. I mean, 16 years is a long time. Just sad that in a typical year we would have had 15,000 fans on Monday. So that breaks my heart. It breaks my heart for Tucson. I love Tucson. I love the fans here. They're one of the reasons why we're here and so successful. I mean, they started this a year ago, or 2 years ago. So I think that's the first thing. The next thing is, okay, what's next? We're blessed to be playing this year. I'm so glad we had a season. And so it's just, you have to take it for what it is and do our best. I think the most successful teams in the tournament will be the ones that can handle the adversity of the bubble with an open mind and not stressed about it. I think a lot of factors, and there's going to be different teams upset just because some teams aren't going to be mentally ready for that. So I think that this team has left their legacy. We're a great team with so many different personalities, but such great leadership. They're a team I love to coach. You know, Ari's been so fun to coach and watch blossom. I mean, Kate gets better every year. Sam, she didn't have multiple Pac-12 offers. Now she's all Pac-12 player. One of the best defensive players in the country that's so underrated. And then, we have Lauren, who's a star freshman. There's so many good pieces to this program and team, and they're fun to coach. And they play their hearts out. They do everything I ask. It's not always perfect, but I'm not always perfect. So I think I'm really excited to go on this journey with these players. Go excited for the next phase. We're writing our next chapter. What's it going to be like? And I'm optimistic that we're going to have success. I think the players are in a good place. This week we've had some of our best basketball that we've had in a long time. So I think we're mentally ready now. We're refocused. What didn't have the Pac-12 tournament we wanted, but I think that was a good reality check for us. So one game at a time, and we're ready for it.
Thank you, Coach.
You're welcome.
Kim Doss, we'll go to you. Kim?
So you referred a little bit to this about how the players don't have to focus on it as much as you do. Does that make it an advantage when you go into that second game and you don't have a lot of preparation and you're just playing? Go ahead.
Well, I think that we have an advantage in the Pac-12 because not a lot of teams play Friday, Sunday. And so usually people have more time. And, it's funny because I talked to Bendu about that. She was at Indiana before, and it's different. So I think that we're used to that. So us playing Monday, Wednesday, we're used to that turnaround. So I think for us, it's not going to be any different. But, I think that the players need to focus on us and a couple of things. Like, if we know 30 plays, the players know 3 or 4. And I think you just look more at tendencies and, if a team likes to back a lot, you're working on back cuts. If they like to shoot the 3 a lot, you're working on defending the 3. So you just want to narrow their focus and have them focus on just the little things that we want to accomplish. But it's more about us. It's more about what do we need to do to be successful. And, I think keeping it simple is better and focusing on what we need to do. Because I think at the end of the day, we're doing some good things. We just have to tweak and get better in some areas. But we have a week to do it too. So I think it's an advantage for us that turnaround because we've done it all year, Friday, Sunday. So.
And as far as that focusing on you, it's been the talk all year of someone needs to step up besides Ari. Who do you think needs to be that X factor, or do you think it matters? Do you think you have a variety of people who could be that X factor?
I think it has to be a variety of people. So Ari's been Ari the whole year. She does what she does. We play our best when we have balance. We play our best when we have multiple players in double digits, whether that's 3 or 4, we're always our best. It's proven we play a certain way, we win. We don't. So there's different factors, different defense, people play, whatever, all that stuff. But we're playing our best when, Kate's in double digits, when Sam's in double digits, when we have productivity from Trinity inside, from Bendu attacking the basket, from Shayna, Lauren, and Helena coming in off the bench. Really, really keys. We have to have balance inside outside game. We're not a team. We're not just going to create all this offensive talent in the next week. We are a very good defensive team. We are solid. Our defense creates a lot of offense. We're not going to change our personnel or all of a sudden be someone else. We're not. What we are has worked, And so I think just capitalizing on that, being a little stronger in our finishes, being a little confident, more confident in different situations. And we've worked a lot on that this week, and we've improved. So my expectation is everybody steps up a little bit more in March. That's what you have to do. You know, we need a little bit more from Kate. We need a little bit more from Trinity. Need a little bit more from, you know, Helena, Sam, Shayna, Bendu, Lauren. And once we do that, everything else falls into place. But I think they're all ready and they're all hungry. You can see it in their eyes. They're excited. They are just ready to play. I kind of wish we didn't have to wait a week. So we're ready.
Javier Morales, we'll go to you, Javier.
Hey, Adia.
Hi.
Hi. You've played for a team that was number 3 seed. Now you're coaching a team that's number 3 seed, the 2 highest seeds in Arizona's NCAA tournament history. A lot of similarities between the team as far as success. What's it mean to you to be, play for one of the best teams and coach one of the best teams at the same school?
It means a lot. You know, it's funny because when you're a player, I didn't even remember we were 3 seed. Actually, Adam told me because it's been so long. It's you forget. But it's exciting. I think it's exciting because if you would have asked me when I took this job, would in year 4 we'd be a top 15 team, or we were a top 12 team. In year 5 we would have been through 6 through 11 the whole year, making the tournament as a 2 or a 3 seed. I would have said, ooh, I don't know about that. So I think that just we've came a long way. When I got the job, we were like a 300 RPI. And we were always chosen 11th or 12th in the conference. So to be second in the conference behind a team like Stanford, to be going into the tournament knowing we're in, just waiting to see where we're at and who we're playing, it's just an amazing feeling. And it showed just how much we've turned everything around. And it's been because of the players. The players have poured their heart out. We've gotten some good pieces. Then other good players joined, but we're just in the start. Like, this is hopefully not a one and done thing. This is something I hope every year we're in this conversation and we're at this level. It's awesome to have been there as a player and now to do it as a coach. I think a lot of people don't have success with their alma mater. It's not easy because when we were good when I was a player, there's a lot of comparisons and Joan's incredible. But then to come here and Joan went to this many tournaments, it's like, what? It's like, okay, well, give us some time, So I think it's rewarding to do it because our hard work is paying off. The vision is there, and the players that came to Arizona, they were all sold a vision. There was no evidence. We didn't have any proof. Now it's easier to recruit because we were number 10, we were number 6. Before it was like, we hope we are one day, come join us, and we might be. Like, now it's there. So it's just, I'm happy. I'm happy to be here at Arizona. I'm happy to be the head coach here. I'm proud and more proud because my heart is here. This was where everything started for me. So it means more. It just does. Like, I bleed red and blue. So, it's no better feeling than to do it where it all started for me as a 17-year-old.
And the last time obviously was 16 years ago. Do you remember what you were doing 16 years ago?
What was I doing? I was playing pro.
You're playing pro in Turkey. I mean,
I was in Turkey. Yeah, I was.
Yeah.
Actually, that was the year right after I tore my ACL. So I was just recovering from my ACL. That's crazy. Yeah, I was playing pro in Turkey of all places. I would have never thought. If you asked me when I was in college, would I play overseas? I would have said not for $1 zillion, not $1 billion, $1 zillion. I would have said no way. And then I ended up 13 years overseas. If you would ask me if I would ever live in Russia or Ukraine or Turkey, I would have said no way. And I was loving it overseas. You couldn't get me home. So things have changed a lot over the years.
Great. Thanks, Adia.
Yeah.
Rich Herrera, Wildcats Radio, 1290. Rich?
Thank you so much, Adia. Good evening. By the way, we're carrying this live on Wildcats Radio 1290, so all of Tucson can hear us at the press conference. Obviously, you talked about being an alumni, coming back to lead your school. So who have you heard from? Teammates and others in the last.
Well, I haven't had time because I was up, that's the thing about being a mom. So we had a little bit of celebration with the team, dinner. We had our, watch party, and then went to the office, had some of the meetings, and came straight down. So I really haven't had time to talk to anybody yet. But I will. I'm sure. I know I have a lot of texts upstairs.
Let's talk a little bit about the run that you're about to go on. Obviously, the Cats haven't been to the NCAA tournament since 2005. How much are you going to rely on the run that you had at the WNIT, and how about your experience that you have to help prepare your team for the things that they haven't experienced by playing in the NCAA tournament?
Well, so that's a tough one. So the good thing is the Aerie, Sam, Kate, they have experience at WNIT, which was one and done. So we have that. We played another month, one and done type. So it's tournament type style. So we have that experience. The unfortunate thing is we didn't get a taste of the NCAA last year. So it is the first time for everybody except for 3 people on our team. So that's a challenge. But I think that our players don't really look at that. They don't get caught up into that. I think it's just been a hard year. But they're excited. They're just ready to be there because this is what we said we were going to do from the beginning, and we've done it. So the goals that we said we'd reach, we've even exceeded them from the beginning of the year. So we're not going to look ahead. We're not looking at like the NC State. We're not looking at that at all. We are looking at Stony Brook. We aren't talking about anybody else. Like we are. I mean, obviously coaches, doing their jobs, everything's spread out, looking ahead. But the players, me, it is Stony Brook. That is our focus. That is who we want to be. It's one day at a time, one practice at a time, one game at a time. That's what we have to do, and that's what we need to do. We need to do that to be successful. We're not good any other way. So it is what it is. We're ready. We're gonna charter on down to San Antonio. Whether it's a bubble, whatever it is, we're all for it. We're doing it. We've already tested all year. We're used to all this stuff. So we're just excited and ready to go.
We were talking with Trinity and a little bit earlier, we were talking about the vision that you sold them, that you told Aerie when you were recruiting. That's one of the stories you shared with us on Zoom this year. Also, the fan support that you had. You alluded to a little bit. Do you have a message to the fans who have been with you and helped you build this program, attracting those type of players? They had such a run at the WNIT. Unfortunately, we're not able to see you play in person, but do you have any message to them? Because they're going to be listening on the radio. They're going to be watching on TV.
Yeah, first thing in Tucson, I am devastated that you cannot go on this journey with us. I can't wait until next year when we're going to host games at home and we're going to have 15,000 of you yelling, screaming, and cheering your heart out. But you follow it. This was a hard year. You weren't able to come to games, but you loved us the whole year unconditionally through wins and losses all this year and supported us. I mean, on Twitter, I get DM'd and messages all the time. Just supporting us, wishing they were there, lending their support. So that means a lot to us. And we won a lot of games, and we started our success because of the fans here. A tremendous amount of support. I know we would have led the conference in attendance this year. I'm pretty confident in that. So don't give up on us. Watch us in the tournament. Come down to San Antonio. It's not too far. Cheer us on, help us win some games. And then we're going to come back crazier than ever next year in McHale. But honestly, it all started from, me coming back here to Arizona. But I wouldn't have had this much success if everybody wouldn't have embraced me from the beginning and believed in me. Like I was a first-time head coach. You had a first-time head coach before. They took a chance on me, gave me an opportunity. The fans embraced me, supported me. There was tons of fans that watched me when I played and loved on me and wanted us to be successful. And then we had some success. And then the WNIT was amazing. I was recruiting people. See, you guys saw some of my recruiting in the WNIT. I was recruiting fans to come. And then the fans came, and then it got bigger. And the city is so excited. It's helped us with recruiting. It's helped us win. It's even helped us even this year when you were tweeting at my players and, they just feel love. When they go around Tucson, people stop them, people honk horns and we're walking. It's just all the support. I couldn't imagine this much support. I mean, an example for the Pac-12 tournament, there was a whole bunch of people sent us off, even the football team here. There's just love in McHale, love in the city. And we are going to play our hearts out. We play hard for you guys and for our team and for Arizona. What's more important on the front of the jerseys that's more important than what's on the back?
This might be a silly question, but I want to finish with this. How cool is it when they handed out those T-shirts, Just Us Wildcats from Nike, which means you're going to the big dance and your whole team is wearing postseason gear for the first time in 15 years. 16 years.
16. It's an amazing, hey, that's another year. No, it's amazing. It's just, and it's honestly to sit there, It's hard when you're the bubble team and you're like, okay, are we in? Are we not? But to sit there and know that we're in too, that's also a relief. And that's a reward from what we've done. And those are the players. They've done that. It's a great feeling. I mean, we were celebrating. We were dancing on the Big A. You'll probably see some videos floating on social media. They were TikToking on the Big A dance. You know what all the kids do. I don't know how to do those dances, so I wasn't involved. But they're excited. They're happy. And I just told them to savor the moment because it takes a lot to get here. And not 64 teams in the country are in the moment that we were in. Other people aren't. So we're blessed to be here. We're blessed to have played. And I'm just happy we're going to San Antonio. I think it's going to be an amazing experience for our team.
Thank you so much. Good luck.
Thank you.
Ryan Killefer, Arizona Desert Swarm. Ryan?
So you talked about savor the moment. I mean, how much more true is that after last year when you had to tell your team that the NCAA tournament was canceled and then you had to wait a whole year to get back to this point?
It's so much more true because of that. And that's a good question because I reminded them, we had a little talk in a circle, and I reminded them that last year we did all this work. We were getting ready to host the first 2 rounds, and it was taken. So I just don't want us to take anything for granted because things can change tomorrow. I mean, if we look around the country, people are missing games. You know, we saw what happened at UConn. Like, there's still a lot, and all of us are testing daily. So not to let down our guard, to stay focused. It's still, like, it's a difficult situation with playing basketball. So savor the moment, be excited. You don't know what tomorrow brings. We don't know. There could be like something that happens around the world. Now, I would have never thought that happened last year, but now there can be like a strand from, I don't know, Egypt, and it could be a different way and wipe us out. Like, who knows? So now anything can happen. So you got to play every game like it's your last game, and you have to be thankful that you're blessed to play. I mean, we didn't miss 20 games this year. A lot of people missed months. You know, we were fortunate. I think we missed 4 or 5 games. That was hard, but we put ourselves in a situation to be successful. So savor the moment. You don't know what tomorrow brings. Don't look ahead. One game at a time, and that's just what we're doing, and we're excited. So I'm just happy for our team and happy for this program.
Jay Gonzalez, Fox Sports Radio Tucson.
Hey, Dia, you talked about this a little bit earlier, but did this seem like a longer season than others because of, you know, the way it went? Even though you played fewer games, the time frame was shorter. And, you know, how confident are you that your team is, you know, ready for this after the grind that this season has been?
It's been a grind. I think what made it hard was that not having the non-conference made the first 2 months hard, because usually all those kinks we work out in the non-conference. So I think that the first month or so of Pac-12 play was really ugly because usually you're better, the chemistry is better. I think that showed, and we have 2 new starters in our lineup, so it was a lot. Normally have a lot more time with them, so I think that it took longer to improve, and I think the basketball was just uglier early. But I think that it has felt long at times, but then it went by fast. I don't know how to explain that. So at times it was like, oh, the grind, like, you know, we didn't go home for Christmas. I think for the players, when I'm looking at, you know, from the outside in, it has been a long year. It's been a long year because a lot of them haven't seen their families in 8 months. You know, a lot of them just haven't been able to do what normal college kids do. They're online on school. They're not going out together. They're not really going to dinner a lot because we've been safe. No player on our team has got COVID. So we've been very safe. We've been in our bubble. They've done everything we asked. So I think that mentally, there were some points in the season where I saw them fatigued, and you saw it all over the country because it was kind of like, you know, like this is taxing a little bit. So I saw a lot more stress from people this year. You know, some struggles just overall for student athletes. I think just not seeing your family, not going home for Christmas, that was hard. But I think we've handled the adversity really well. And so, you know, it's kind of like it went by slow. Sometimes it was so long, but then it's like, oh, we're done. So I think there was a combination of both. But this is when the excitement starts. This is when the fun is. No one remembers how you start. They remember how you finish. So they remember these moments. This is when stars are made. This is what it's all about. This is what you work for the whole year. So I want us to just go like this, just kind of like we did the WNIT. We were rolling in the WNIT. So I want us to get to there. And I think we're on track for that. I really think you'll see our best basketball in the next few games.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm hoping. So let me knock on wood. So I hope so.
Greg Hansen, Arizona Daily Star. Greg?
Hi, Greg.
Hey, do you have any keepsakes from playing in the NCAAs, like a ring or videos, anything like that?
No videos because it was probably VHS, and no one has a VHS or a DV. I don't know, VHS. I guess. Gosh, I'm old. So no, I don't have it. I don't have VHS. But you know what? I have upstairs in my office. I have a watch, I have a ring, and I have one other. Oh, then I have my Final Four ring upstairs from Washington. But yeah, I do have that stuff, and I randomly found that like 2 years ago, and I put it in like a case in my office. So I have like my little display. Then I have my WNIT thing, and I have a ball from college. So yeah. I have that stuff upstairs. Now I won't be wearing it because they're not really in style anymore, but I just have them just to look at and, you know, hopefully we are that successful.
Did you keep any of your U of A gear, your old uniform?
Yeah. So you know what? So I have in my office, I'll have to show you guys one day. I have this amazing quilt. It is like the nicest quilt ever. Like I love it. Someone here in McHale, their wife is an amazing, she's like a award-winning quilter. I guess quilter would be the title. But I gave her a whole bunch of my first WNBA jersey, my college t-shirts, college shorts, my college uniform. It's like all of my professional stuff. And she made me this gigantic quilt, and it has a Wildcat embroidery, like the stitching of a Wildcat, like in the background of the quilt. It's amazing. So I think I posted on social media when she gave it to me, but I have that in my office, so it has all that stuff. It has even my Russian game jersey that has my name spelled in Russian. It's pretty cool. So it has all that stuff. It has a couple, like our shirts when I played were like super thick cotton. They weren't dry fit, super thick cotton. So I have all those old school shirts in there. It's really cool. So it was just a way for me. You don't really keep that stuff, so it's a way for me to keep it and have a memory of it, and I love it. It's like my favorite quilt in the world.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And we'll go back to PJ Brown.
So Adia, will you be sharing anything? You know, I know all the time you share with your players, you know, stuff about when you played, or, you know, for different moments. Now we're in a new moment. You guys are here. Are you going to share anything about, you know, when you played in the, you know, your couple times in the NCAA tournament, and what it felt like, what you remember about it, different things like that, maybe to help them through this?
I do a little bit when they ask me. I don't talk about it a whole lot. I share more probably experience as a coach because that was more recent. You know, as a player, you just kind of play and go with it. So like the process, I'm like, I just played. You know, it's just so different. So share more about how we did it at Washington. We weren't the best team. We had finished 5th in the Pac-12 and then went on to the Final Four. So share more about like what made that team successful, how we just focused on one game at a time. We weren't afraid of anybody and just went in and played. We weren't saying, oh, we want to make the Elite Eight, because then you just make the Elite Eight. We were just like one game at a time, win and move on. And I think that mentality, that team, the chemistry and the work ethic and the just belief was there. So I talk more about that. And if they ask me more stuff, we talk about it. But I really think it's important to take one game at a time and not look ahead, because, I mean, we're going to see a lot of upsets. We're going to see it. And I think it's also very different when you're approaching or going to a tournament with a higher seed. It's harder. You know, we saw that in the Pac-12 tournament, and you know, you have a little bit more pressure. I think it's easy when you're a lower seed because you just go out and play. So, you know, we just have to do what we're supposed to do and play Arizona basketball, and I'm confident that we'll be successful. And what that looks like, I don't know, because it's uncharted territory for us.
Thanks.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight.
Bye.
Joined by Ari McDonald and Trinity Baptiste. We'll start with questions for these two. Sean Fagan, Arizona Daily Wildcat, you're first.
First off, thank you, ladies, for both being here. Congratulations on making it to the tournament. So, Ari, what does it feel, obviously, to be able to break the 16-year drought and bring this team back to where everyone has always wanted to see, which is back in the tournament?
It's a blessing, and we just put in all the hard work, and it's finally paying off. And I think this year we have the right pieces to actually go far and make a run. So it's just a blessing, and I'm just really excited and just gonna take in the moment and enjoy it.
And then your opponent will be a 14th seed, Stony Brook. Obviously, you ladies are a very high seed, number 3. But as we all know, there's always those years where upsets do happen. So what would you say is the mindset around the team being such a high seed to live up to those expectations and not be upset in the first round as some teams are usually throughout so many years?
Yeah, the message that Coach Barnes is emphasizing is to not overlook our opponent. Just focus on them at the moment and just try to defeat them. Also, just it's smart. It's a crazy year. Anything can happen, but just focus on the team at hand.
And then Trinity, one thing we always see in basketball, I think one of the things that makes the sport so special is that the playoffs are so different from the regular season. You know, it's a different mentality, it's a different mindset, it's anybody's game. So what is it that you as a team feel you have to do in order to, in essence, remove everything from the regular season, from the Pac-12 tournament, because now in essence it doesn't matter anymore, and just focus on now being in the playoffs with knowing that it's one game can send you home, and then it's that many more games to get to the final. So what would you say changes for you as a team now when you just have to focus on the playoffs?
I wouldn't say much changes, but our mindset, like just focusing on who we have that day, and just knowing that everyone's 0-0. So it doesn't matter what seed you are, really. I think anything can happen on any night. So for us, we just want to be focused and just stay healthy and just do our job, and that's to win. So.
And then last question, what would you say, if there's anything, was the biggest issue that maybe as a team you need to fix in order to be ready for your upcoming opponent?
I wouldn't say there's any issues that need to be fixed. I would say more just probably more discipline, and also just being able to adapt to the new protocols and like being isolated in hotel rooms and everything not being normal. I think just being able to adapt and being mentally tough, that's the biggest thing. I think whoever ends up winning it all is going to be based on that, and being able to come together and stay in discipline and stay mentally tough.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
PJ Brown, Arizona Daily Star. PJ.
Hi, Trinity and Ari. How did you guys sort of
Again, we're carrying this
stay-
press conference live. The University of Arizona women's basketball team, Ari McDonald, Trinity Baptiste.
Sorry. Wow. How did you stay sort of distracted today? Because you knew that at 4:00, this big announcement was going to be made, and you knew you were in, but that moment is something you hadn't experienced before. So what kind of things did you do to try to keep your mind off of that?
I guess I'll go first. Well, for me, I wasn't really trying to stay distracted. I was just excited, even from yesterday, like going to sleep and waking up, and I was just super excited because this is my 5th year and I haven't been. I always had a spring break, and this year I don't get one, and I'm super excited about it. I never wanted a spring break, and I will always be at home, and just knowing that one day I was going to be playing late in March, and now that I have the opportunity as a senior, I'm just super excited.
And what really, you guys have reached this first big goal of yours. I know you have a lot more in the next coming games, but how does that feel?
Well, for me, I mean, I really feel like we haven't done anything yet, but that's just me because my standards are high for myself and my teammates and my coaches, and we know how far we want to go. So like we done great all year, but I just feel like until we really prove it, I don't think that we've reached our goal yet.
Okay. Thanks.
Javier Morales, you're next. Javi.
Hey, Ari. The last time you were in the NCAA tournament was about 3 years ago with Washington. Is there anything at all you can take from that experience? You guys made the Sweet 16 that year going into this postseason.
I would just say just coming in and just sharing my experience, or that experience I had with my previous institution, and just kind of, hopefully that rubs off on my team. And just my experience that I had with my other team is just, kind of bring that to the table. So, and just my leadership, just hoping to bring that.
And what does this mean to you to get a chance to play for a national championship as a number 3 seed? You guys are one of the top seeds.
It means a lot. I'm really excited. It's a clean slate, 0-0. Like Coach Barnes said, it's not about how you start, it's about how you finish. And like Trinity said, I feel like we haven't really proved anything yet. We haven't done anything, and so I'm really excited to show what Arizona has and what we're capable of doing. So I'm just ready to get to work.
Thank you.
Kim Doss, you're next. Kim.
Ari, I want to go back to when you were there with Washington. In the Pac-12 tournament, there's a quick turnaround where you play 2 different teams, but in the NCAAs, it's teams you've never seen before. What's a preparation like if you win that first game for the second game?
Yeah, you pretty much you're watching film, and you have a couple days to prepare for your next opponent, and I feel like it helps a lot. Physically, mentally, it helps you get your mind right. It helps you focus on things that you get to work on for next game or how the opponent's going to play. So you got time to literally sit on that, kind of, figure out what you want to do the next game. So I feel like the couple of days of preparation really helps.
Troy Hutchison, you're next. Troy.
So you guys, so take me through that moment when it was finally announced that you guys made the tournament. I know you expected to be there, but what was the feeling around the room?
It was excitement. Everybody was happy. As you've seen, we got up out our seats dancing and stuff. It's an exciting moment. It's a big day for our program as well. They haven't been to the tournament in 15, 16 years. So it's a blessing. And then we're never going to forget this moment. But now that we're there, the work doesn't stop. We got to keep getting better and, stay focused on the moment.
And then Trinity, at Virginia Tech, you guys made a lot of WNITs. Arizona made a WNIT 2 years ago. What does it mean to finally be able to play in March and get a chance for a national championship?
For me, it's everything that I've dreamed of as a kid to be in this position that I am right now. Growing up in Tampa, like I always, UConn used to play South Florida, which is 10 minutes from my house. I would always go watch, and UConn would dominate and win in the Final Four every year. And I always dreamed of being in that position. So for me now to have a chance is just always what I wanted.
Rich Herrera, Wildcats Radio 1290. You're next.
Thank you very much, Trinity. Ari, first of all, congratulations. We're carrying this live on the radio right now, so everybody in Tucson gets a chance to hear you all. Can we talk a little bit about what the week has been like? Obviously, the last game didn't go the way you wanted. Is it something that's going to help you focus, reminding you guys that you got to grind in each and every game?
Is that for me or Eric?
Actually, we'll go with you since the camera's on you.
Well, since I'll be honest, that last loss against UCLA really hurt. Honestly, being a senior, it hit me after the game, but it really hit me on Sunday when watching the championship game. I had to watch it, and it was tough. But this week has just been preparing ourselves mentally and physically as well, but more mentally just to be ready for what's next. And we plan to be there for a long time in Texas, and we have to be mentally tough. So that's been the biggest focus this week in practice and between my teammates and I.
Ari, if you wouldn't mind answering the question as well.
Yeah, just to add in it, that loss, it did hurt. I felt the same pain as Trinity. But we can't dwell on that loss. It's only up from here. We have to get better. And I'm really excited to see what we do. And just, it's only up from here.
Let me follow one question for both of you. We'll start with you, Ari, since the camera's on you. Adia's talked an awful lot about recruiting you and getting you to come here with the promise of getting to the NCAA tournament. Now that it's here, you want to reflect back on those conversations you had with Coach, saying this is the program we want to build, this is the dream we have, and now you're taking that next big step to achieving what you guys talked about when she was recruiting you?
Yeah, it's just crazy. And I look back a couple of years ago, we had these conversations. It's a lot of trust in that conversation, just our relationship, and just we literally spoke into the existence, and now it's happened. We put in the work, got great players around me, and it's just, hey, it's finally happening. So what now? Got to show out.
In Trinity, same question to you. When Adia came calling you to come in as a transfer, you've been with the program for a year, but you get to see all this hard work that's been put on and the hard work that you put in to get the Wildcats to the tournament, and they haven't been there in so long. What does this feel like for you in those conversations you had with Adia of what she wanted to accomplish this year?
Well, obviously our conversations were different than her and Aries because I came at a different time, and the program was already doing really well. But I really just wanted to add to. I didn't want to go somewhere that was rebuilding or I just wanted to add to and be a part of it. So our conversation was built on our relationship, really, me and her relationship. I trusted her, but it was mainly built on my relationship with her, and being able to come here as a senior was just something that I took a chance on. But I say I was in a good position coming in as well. So it means a lot to be in this position now. Now we just gotta win games.
Thank you so much. Good luck to you in Texas.
Thank you.
Any more questions for Ari or Trinity?